Life was fine. My life was fine till she blew my mind. I'm in love. I'm in love with the other woman. Other woman. My life was fine. Yes, it was till she blew my mind. What it do? Whew. Man, come on in spring. Next you know it'll be summer. Yeah, because I'm kind of over all this other foolishness. It's your man Rico the Opinionist, and I have some thoughts. And y'all get ready. Chris, Cynthia, Corey, Batiste, what's up? People come in as I talk, because I'm going to, of course, as usual, say some things. It's going to throw some people off. I wouldn't be Rico the Opinionist with all the opinions if I didn't piss at least 5 people off. And of course, that's not my goal whenever I share my thoughts. It's not to offend. I'm just sharing my thoughts, and I'm glad that, you volunteer. Again, you volunteer to come on to hear what I have to say. And I do it, hey, is just to put it on record what I thought. And of course, I'll write it down somewhere, too. On my blog, Rico the Opinionist. On my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. On my Instagram, Rico the Opinionist. Or my Twitter, Rico the Opinionist. Hell, you might see me in person, but I don't talk about stuff in person when I talk about on social media, because it's just not worth it. And David Brown, what's up, my man? It's not worth talking about it. With all the stuff I talk about on social media, I don't talk about it in person because it's not worth it. I learned years ago, when I was young, that black folks have no interest in any truth, any solutions. They just like to tell you what you shouldn't have said, and I don't like the way you said it. So I learned when I was a student on campus of Grambling State University that, that's all they wanted, and it hadn't changed. And I'm not going to allow anybody to cuss me out or stress me out for free. So I have, it's not about, you don't want to hear no dissenting, you don't want to hear any dissenting comments or dissenting or counter arguments. I don't say this stuff to argue. I'm just saying as a matter of fact, and I move the fuck on. And so I don't know why people have gotten that idea that I share my thoughts because I'm looking for a conversation or I'm looking for a debate when we meet. I'm not. If I'm somewhere, especially if I'm having my shots of Apple Crown and Coke, or I'm having my hot wing, damn well I want to talk about what I talk about on social media. But it depends on. But I sometimes I'll make an exception. I have made some exceptions. It depends on, I guess, who you are. And if she's female, how cute she is. But if I don't think she's cute, I ain't talking about nothing that. No, not at all. But anyway, I hope the wind doesn't drown me out. It's kind of breezy. It's been breezy the past few days. I guess that is the accompaniment of having 78 to 80 degree days during this month. If we're going to give you a sunshiny day, we're going to blow your eyelids off with this goddamn wind. And so that's what we've been getting in Dallas-Fort Worth. So anyway, anywho, let me get started. I'm chilling, Dave. Just chilling, bro. And this is going to fly off, I don't care. And so anyway, I probably should walk downwind. I want to start with the easy ones first before I get into the Kirk Franklin. I know everybody is all over that, so I'll try to give that thing. I'll try to give some topics a chance to breathe, and also it gives me a chance to look deeper into certain topics before I give an opinion on it. But 2 things really quickly. I know it's 3 topics on here. I want to talk about the thotting it up at the Grammys. I didn't watch them. But I didn't watch the Grammys. I don't watch too many shows in this entirety. I tend to go to YouTube and check out their performances. In the advent of YouTube, it's rare that I watch an entire anything, musical billboards, American Music Awards, NAACP Awards, any award shows. I don't watch them anymore like I used to. I go to YouTube only to look at the performances. Or if there's a speech I want to hear, I'll go to YouTube the next day. I'll watch American Idol and stuff like that. I go to YouTube to check out the performances that I want to see. So kudos to YouTube. And this damn helicopter is flying over. So anyway, I checked out some performances. Eugene Stotts, what's up, man? Shout out to North Memphis, Norman Street, Hollywood. Yeah. So I talked about that. Oh yeah, let me start with the lady in Nashville really quickly. If you've seen the entire video, and I've checked out some of the responses of people, and they pretty much say, hey, the lady kind of got what she was asking for. When I saw the entire video, I was like, I went beyond that. I said, you know what? What is so interesting? It is really hard being a man out here. And I hear right now, if y'all haven't noticed all this corporate funding of protect women, and I just saw something, Hoda Kotb did some little thing. If you see her, call her. Tell her she's special. Y'all noticing this feminization of America? It's like men and boys are not even part of the equation anymore. They've all aligned to talk about celebrate girls, celebrate boys. And you know, whenever they do something nationally, it always negatively impacts the black community. You know, when they say white people get the sniffles, black folks catch the flu. Well, this is what's going on. This whole support women, protect women, and believe her, and all that bullshit. I'm so happy that sometimes I'm like, damn, I hate being 52. But then I go back and I remember I said, born in 1969 wasn't so bad. Because at least as a little kid, I got to grow up in the 70s, in the 80s. And I got to see when society was still kind of normal, I guess. You know, everybody kind of still played their role. The feminist politics wasn't so deep. There wasn't a direct attack on male masculinity. You know, right now they try to put as many men in dresses. They're trying to convince 5-year-old little boys that they'd rather be girls. This feminist bullshit is out of control. Hey, her diva, what's up? It's out of control. So I get it, to the point that they'll try to steal an election just so a woman can become president. Y'all didn't hear that from me, did you? Even though damn well the Constitution has already said years ago that a woman never be president, even when Hillary Clinton ran, that women don't even vote for women. So all of a sudden, they put in a senile old man. They messed up one old dude, purposely stole it from him. His name was Bernie Sanders. Then they purposely stole it from some very viable candidates, this past thing, just to give it to a senile old man and a man-hating, black man-hating woman. They told to use the Obama strategy, even though she has a white mama, or he had a white mama, told him to let them call him black. And so she comes from a completely different culture, raised from a completely different culture, and they told her to use the Obama strategy. Let them call you black. When those of us who didn't flunk 8th grade biology, those of us who attended Cypress Junior High School out there for Springdale in North Memphis, my 8th grade biology teacher taught us about what biology was and genetics and all that stuff, and how babies were born and what made black people, what made white people. I learned all that stuff at Cypress. And so that information didn't change because people trying to use politics to push agendas. I've always paid attention to things that other people kind of look past. I've never been one to follow the crowd. So having said that, this push women agenda, it's a pushing women agenda. Because when I grew up, women were special just because they were women, period. And what made them special and powerful, they pushed the one thing that the feminists tell them not to use, that is their femininity. And equality was not a big deal as it relates to, I want to be a man. It was like, I want some of the what they believe are benefits that men get. But one thing about anything that a man has, he's fought for it. He's died for it. He's sacrificed for it. A lot of times the women get stuff because of their femininity. You know, you're giving stuff. You ain't fought no damn wars. You ain't shot no guns. You ain't shot no cannons. You ain't shot no bow and arrows. You ain't done none of that shit. But you let these angry, ugly white women tell everybody, we deserve equal. Well, fight for it, bitch. Get a naval ship. Get a drone and missile and drop some bombs on somebody like men have done. If you want that equality, but they don't want equality. They want superiority. They want it handed to them. So this is what's happening. This thirst for equality or to be like men has caused the marriage rate to drop even further in the black community. Because one thing about men, heterosexual masculine men don't date or marry men. Only beta males and gay guys do that. Oh, you like these old husky, hard-acting chicks. And one thing about it, you know, this whole stop policing women's sexuality, all that dumbass language. See, I wasn't privy to that kind of crap in the 70s and 80s. And that mess in the 90s. It started creeping into it like after like 95 or 96, that kind of language, misogynistic, sexist, all that kind of bullshit. I don't subscribe to any of that, because what you're not going to do is make me make a fool out of my brain, and it's not going to happen. All those names, call me what you want to. One thing I know, we move further, we move farther together without all that bullshit. And women still, even when they're supposed to be oppressed, still getting ahead at the deference or the acquiescence of men. And the black community, same thing. No, it wasn't perfect, but we was doing it. All of a sudden, integration and assimilation, here we are today. So, you said, Rico, what the hell's that got to do with the Grammy performances? I'm making it into a larger situation than the Grammys. You know, this whore culture that is now being funded. First, Whitey decided to push, it was first positive with the hip-hop and all of that. And even soul music and R&B. But Whitey decides we're going to nail the coffin shut on this particular community. And we're going to incentivize and financially fund the whore side of women. Y'all hear what I just said a little while ago? Whenever white America gets the sniffles, whenever white people get the sniffles, black people catch the flu. So this feminism and stop policing women's bodies. Meaning I can walk around here naked all I want to. You better not look, man. You better not say psst, psst, psst. You better not even like, damn, little mama. You better not say shit. Or you're a sexist and you're misogynistic and you're pervert and you're harassing me. I can be a whore in public. You're not supposed to say anything. That's what we've come to. Thank God I don't subscribe to any of that crap. Because I react the same way to booty shorts like I did when I was in junior high school in the 80s and college in the 90s. Good God almighty, little mama. I react the same goddamn way. And all these so-called educated sisters around here but can't find a man with your master's degree and PhD. It ain't the men, it's you. Because you decided to become masculine instead of being feminine. And we always talking about divine femininity and all that. That's gone. That was in the 90s. When sisters actually read books a little bit. They put down the actual scholarly books and started picking up essence and all of that kind of shit. Started picking up this feminist theory and all. It's not hurting us. It's hurting you because you don't want to get 34 years old with 2 kids by 4 different baby daddies and wonder, where the men at? Then you start calling on the Lord Jesus Christ with your PhD. Somebody looking for a husband at 35. Well, you can get one, but you can't get the one you think that you want. At that level, men are being taught, no, we don't have to accept her PhD is not enough for me. She needs to be cute. She needs to be pretty. She needs to be firm and tender and juicy and feminine and nice. Not because you got a doctorate, have a good job. Hell, men don't care about that. We like niceness. No, those of us who got good sense. Now, that's a bunch of dudes who are kind of abusing their they're used to that kind of abuse coming from women. So they like the loud mouth, cussing, smart mouth, belittling, degrading kind of chicks. Not me. And not a lot of brothers. Some of them showed you they don't like it by going to different cultures and dating outside the race altogether. And by the way, for those who think we do, black men don't care if y'all date other people. We don't care. Not at all. But for some reason, you want us to care. Because every time you do it, there's a parade thrown. I'm like, damn, that's weird. And so, in so many words, I'm saying, ladies, you can't be a whore like a man. You can't be. Because you weren't put here for that. It lets me know that a lot of sisters have gotten out of the belief system of how women are supposed to be. Now, y'all can translate it to women at the bottom, men at the top. Translate it how you want to. It certainly is not. That's not what it's meant to be. But a lot of sisters are losing because you got away from your femininity. That was your power. That was who you were. That's how you got over. That's how you made it through. That's how our family stayed together. Because one thing about men, we are the heathens. We're the savages. We misbehave. That's why the fairer sex called the woman who is of virtue, who is of grace, who is the educator. You're the one who's supposed to tame the savage breasts in the man. You're not supposed to act like a savage with us. So you act like a savage with us, we'll get down in the mud with you. But just like Luke Campbell, when he was a savage in the 80s and the 90s with his 2 Live crew, but when they got older, he was able to find some cute little young 30-year-old with a law degree or a doctorate and get married. Now, how many Megan Thee Stallions, how many Cardi B's? Now, she got her little simp beta male that she's married to. She married what her type is him. That's the best she could do. But a quality dude, upstanding brother who stands up and takes care of himself, takes care of community and family, and steps up and steps out. We'll have higher standards than a Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion. And these young women are being taught and encouraged by these old German shepherds. Shout out to Minister Jab. Like a Maxine Waters. That took a lot of audacity. It took a lot of audacity to talk about your wet ass pussy. See, you got them old chicks encouraging these young women. And I'm here. Now, I'm not a prude. Shake it, baby. Shake it. Bend over, grab your ankles, and make it happen. And I'm right there with my apple crown and coat. Yeah, little mama. I'm not thinking of you as, oh, wow, that's a wife to be. That's the mother of my child to be. I'm looking at, yeah, little mama. Let me go get some condoms because it's going down. And I want ladies who decide to try to be equal as men. You open your legs and you shake your ass because you say we out here being dogs and you try to be a dog too. Well, you go ahead and do that, baby. And we know what? We sure appreciate it. Because if we try to tell you about it, we're told to quit policing your body. Stop policing women's body. Stop policing women's sexuality. Stop trying to suppress women's expectations. Fine, I'm with all that. Because one thing about it, I can say to feminism, thank you, feminists, because you're making pussy a lot easier to get. When you tell these women, you ain't got to protect your virtue. You don't have to act like a lady. Don't let those men tell you that you can shake your ass and still be a woman. Yeah, go on. Keep listening to the feminists. I appreciate it, because it does. It makes ass and it makes pussy easier to get. Easier to get. You got that, then they make that good young girl, young woman enticing music. Tell you, no, if God asked me, Rico, would you like to be 18 years old? Yeah, I'm sure I'd be 18 years old right now, because it ain't hard. See, in the 80s, when I was in Cyprus, if you felt on somebody's booty, man, that was something to brag about in the second lunch period. Like, woo! I felt on her booty after she kicked you in the back and punched you in the back real hard. You didn't get away with feeling on her booty. Right now, they pull their panties down and show you their booty. Open their legs up and show you that wet ass. Yeah. So feminists, y'all doing a great job. Unfortunately, a lot of these women, I guess, unfortunately for them and fortunately for us, a lot of young women, these young college-age girls are buying into that feminist foolishness, and it's not working in your favor. So the Grammys last night put the 2 WAP champion pioneers on display for the world last night, and they didn't disappoint. And so, but these are the women that's supposed to be empowered. That's not empowered. When I think of empowerment of women, I think of people like Shirley Chisholm, Fannie Lou Hamer, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Dr. Cynthia McKinney, Dr. Joy Leary, Michelle Alexander. I think of women like that Think of Cicely Tyson. When I think about women empowerment, I think of women who made a point, who made an impact with their clothes on and their mouths closed at the right time, but open when it's always needed. See, these little chicks here, they don't read anything. They're not being raised by anybody, so they're easily influenced. And saying that showing your body to the world and opening your legs and shaking them either bought or natural booty cheeks. That's female empowerment. Bring it on. I got my ones in my pocket, little mama. Or I got my 50 for the 30 minutes. Wait a minute, I don't want to put that out there. My 40 for the 30 minutes. Because they turn them a lot into prostitutes. You can't do what men do, baby. Instead, expect a Cinderella type wedding. Y'all right here y'all celebrating this mulatto, Meghan Markle. But y'all show me anywhere where Meghan Markle is got an OnlyFans account. Show me if Meghan Markle got an Instagram account where she got on booty shorts or thongs or doing squats in the gym with her bald booty and shaking her booty cheeks while she's supposed to be a fitness instructor. Show me any of that Meghan Markle got. And I'll use her as this example because so many black women look up to her like she's actually, I guess, a symbol to be admired or adored. But y'all see anywhere Meghan Markle's got any kind of scantily pictures or videos or anywhere where she's using foul language. Do you see that anywhere? And I'll even go there with Beyonce. Beyonce shakes her money maker, does all that while she's working, but she goes on to a husband of many years, and she goes home to her children. And somehow those messages of womanhood is not pushed by white corporate America. Another thing they're pushing on women is obesity, extra thickness and obesity. All they're doing is a horrible number, and unfortunately a lot of sisters are bought for it. That's why a lot of places by themselves. And I'm not saying this like to be mean and cruel. I'm letting you know, sisters, wake up. Start looking up the real black women. Michelle Obama's not your friend. Ava DuVernay, Oprah, they're not your friend. They keep you single and keep you slutty. They keep making you into spinsters who are turning to other women for pleasure and for company. Those women. I just named you some sisters y'all need to read about. Dr. Joy Leary, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Fannie Lou Hamer. Those real women. And what's so significant about those women is they liked black men and they liked black boys, and most importantly, they understood the necessity and the power of family. Those other women that y'all admire, all them bras out there talking about and sitting around having interviews with transgender boys, shout out to Michelle Obama. You right here pushing that, but you got two daughters that you... Come on, let me move on from that foolishness. So anyway, let me get back to the lady. And I went over to that, talking about the Grammys and the lady in Nashville. And I was talking about female privilege. See, that cop did a whole lot of stuff that he would have never done with a man. He pulled over, let her get out the car, let her walk around, let her smoke a cigarette. Because let me smoke a cigarette. If you saw the entire video, you know what I'm talking about. Let her get on the phone. Let me call somebody. She got on the phone and called. Then she went back and he went to her purse and saw the weed and all of that, right? He told her what was going on, and that's why she called her mama or somebody and said, oh yeah, this such and such. He got all them charges and warrants on his car and he's trying to do this. The man gave her too many courtesies. He extended too many courtesies to her because we're still under this teaching that I don't care what a woman does. You ain't supposed to hit a woman. You ain't supposed to do this to a woman. But women have been ruthless for years. And they're able to be ruthless because they know that boys are trained to acquiesce to the female counterpart. Even when they're police officers, they don't dog women out like that. Some of you say, well, I've seen some videos where they've thrown some women on the ground. They've had to go to damn near to the edge for them to finally grab these women and do something to them. But a man, and especially a black man, you see they shooting black dudes with their arms up in the air. He gave this woman all kinds of leeway. And look what she did. She got in the car. He didn't search the car. He didn't do what? He didn't call back up. They didn't get there quick enough. Oh my God. That's how she was able to do all of that, because he treated her like a woman. So when people get to talking about we need to protect women, I don't want to hear that shit. Women are protected every day. And they got legislation, and black boys and boys across the gamut. Hey Shayna, are taught to handle women with care, but no one's told women to handle men with care. That's the problem I have with living in this society today. No one teaches women and girls to handle boys and men with care. They always taught that boys and men are the boogeyman. Don't let them do this, don't let them do this. But nobody's telling men to watch out for these heifers, except for the last 5 to 10 years. We're finally telling men, watch these, bro. They're terrible. They're slicker than oil. They're worse than guys these days. And you have to teach your sons that. You have to teach your son. You teach your son to be a gentleman, you are a dumbass, and you're setting your son up to be hurt. Not only emotionally, but physically. You are setting your son up to probably be murdered, robbed, beaten by these females. You're still telling him, I don't care what it is, you're going to remain a gentleman, a real man. No. Those things left in the 80s, well, right after 95. So that's what's going on. And that lady she actually got a chance to exercise her female privilege. So she got a chance to shoot the cop. He got a few rounds off, and she was still able to drive off until she ran off the road into a ravine or into the bushes, where she died at the hospital. So it was just, we're going to get it together. We're going to get it together. Again, I was a kid of the 80s, 70s, and the 80s, and I saw these things. That's why I sound the way I sound. 'Cause I said, I know better. This is not how it's supposed to be. I don't want anybody to be mistreated, and I don't want women to be mistreated, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't witnessed women become empowered. Sure, women can make all the money they want to. Who's told them they can't work these jobs? They doing everything. So much so, Claude, what up? So much so that they're in all positions. Hell, black women become the spook who sat by the door. But not really the spook. The women are inside the door. And they're not really doing. Black women are not bringing the information back like they expect men to do. Because we're the hunter-gatherers providers. They're all in the place, and they're purposely keeping men out. And they're letting the women in. And when the women get in there, you don't come back and share with the community what you've learned. You get up there and say, oh, wow, I get to sit next to the white man, even for his white woman, so I feel special. And that's what sisters have done. They've let y'all, the white man, this system has let you in everything, and you have not come back to the community and brought any of that stuff back that you learned. But it's always expected that men will do it. And we've done it. Whatever we learned from corporate America, what we learned from wherever it is, the military, brothers have always brought it back. But y'all name me any sister that's ever gone off to the military, that's ever gone off to college, that's ever gone to corporate America and come back and taught black folks anything. I'll wait. Y'all take all the time you need. But anyway, I'm not going to be so rough and say, even as I speak about that lady being killed, I don't want to be so rough and say, like so many people are saying, well, she deserved what she got. I'm just saying, she played a stupid game and won a stupid prize. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. And that's what she did. She also exercised her female privilege, because men of all races in American culture, now other cultures, they don't play with women. And over in Asian countries and Middle Eastern countries, they don't play. It's only in America where women act a goddamn fool and say, I don't got to listen to a man. Forget them. But those other countries, those other women be trying to get over here because they tired of their patriarchy kicking their ass. They want to get over here and see how they punked out and beta male damn that most of the men in America. And there's a few of us who fighting against the beta male, trying to make beta males out of us and simps and kowtow to women. Shit, why the fuck would I kowtow to somebody weaker than me? This is crazy. Somebody I can beat. That's almost like black people trying to tell white folks not to be in charge when they in fucking charge. Hey, could y'all give up some of y'all power for us? Please give up some of your privilege. Give up some of being in front. It's like asking somebody who's winning all the races, hey, can you kind of slow down so we can catch up? Now, I guess, let me be fair. White people haven't won a race fair since they've been running the race. They actually held us back about 200, 300 years. We still playing catch up. But however, in a lot of cases, we should be doing our own thing. We don't have to worry about no race with them. We should be running our own race. Now, finally, let me catch my breath. For those of you who held on, thank you for holding on. But if not, I'm still going to talk anyway, because that's just what I do. Dwayne, what's up? You came in just in time. Now, I'm going to take my time. I might need to sit this damn thing down so we can actually talk. I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to talk about the Kirk Franklin deal, right? Because y'all grab some popcorn, grab a cocktail. I know some of you are just getting off from work and you're relaxing, but yeah, grab a cocktail or something and grab a seat. I'm going to be just a couple of minutes or so when I try to break down this whole Kirk Franklin thing. I don't know any more than anyone else knows, but I want to share my thoughts on it. Can y'all still see me? Okay. I think I might have, let's see. All right, so anyway. Let's see. Y'all see me? All right. Yeah, I got a few minutes. All right. So here's the deal about this Kirk Franklin thing. I made sure I just checked out all of the comments, as many as I could. No, not all of them, because there's thousands of them. Hey, Kimberly Johnson. And I listened to his apology video. I saw that first. Then I saw and then I saw I guess it's 45 seconds. It's the video that's going around where he's really saying, yeah, you bitch ass nigga, I'll kick your ass, you motherfucker, blah, 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 put my foot up your skinny ass. No, he letting them have it. And let's all be fair, that is a partial recording. You know, no one talks for 45 seconds. They had a whole conversation, and that son just only put that out because he knew that was the incendiary parts of the conversation that people would really gravitate towards. And by him being a celebrity, of course, you know, we all on it. And for those of you saying, you know, that's those people business, that's a private conversation. Once anything hits social media, it's no longer private. It's for all of us to have our varying perspectives and opinions and thoughts on. So please stop putting up posts saying that's between that man and that son. It's not. Once you put it on social media, it's not their business. It's been made all of our business. It's just like somebody, like, you know. When a couple is getting into a physical altercation, they're fighting. A man is beating up his girlfriend. And someone says, hey, dude, cut that BS out. You know, stop jumping on that chick. Are you crazy? And then he says, hey, man, what goes on between a man and a woman, that's between a man and a woman. And then he has to be correct. And now, jackass, if you was whooping her ass in the privacy of your own apartment, then that'll be between you and her. Now, I'm telling y'all words I actually had to say. I told somebody when I was a student at Grambling State University, because it was reported that he was beating up his little girlfriend, a little AK. This cat was from New Orleans. And he came to me and said, yeah, Rico, yeah, I know somebody told you about what goes on between me and my old lady. But let me tell you something. That dude, he just want to fuck her. You know, he's a hater. He's just trying to fuck her. But I want to tell you something, Rico. What goes on between a man and a woman is between that man and his woman. And I politely told him, I said, sir, if you beating her up here on campus, it's all of our business, because what you're doing by beating her up on campus, if that is the case, you'll be interrupting my right and our rights to a violence-free campus. But feel free to beat her ass in your apartment away from all of us, because that'll be y'all right to have your... She has the right to get her ass beat in private, and you have the right to beat her ass in private. So let's all stop saying what should be private is all in the public, okay? It's just a little common sense. So having said that, and then I went and saw a full report on everything from my girl from Impressive Channel. I went and saw that, and she had she always has, well, I mean, a lot of bloggers have a lot of stuff, but this particular young woman has a whole lot of stuff. I got to see what he actually looked like, and I got to see what he wrote on Twitter, and then I got to hear what his sister said on Instagram and Twitter, and I mean, Kurt Franklin's other daughter, and she alluded to that she said he a crackhead. And so, but I put all this together, and I listened to Kurt Franklin's apology, and I listened to everybody's stuff, right? And so when stuff like this comes about, and I guess I kind of identify with some of this, because those of you who's ever read my book, if you haven't bought it, it's Rico, it's the greatest pain I ever felt. My conversation with an absent father who never wanted to be found. It's only $10. Hit me up on the Cash App, Rico the Opinionist, and if you want to buy it and read it, please send me an email address, because it's only in PDF file format. So please send me an email address and my Cash App or my PayPal. It's on this page. PayPal, Rico Rivers. Cash App, Rico the Opinionist, $10, and I'll send it to you. And it's almost like, it's kind of reminding me of my conversation I had with my biological father, who sound like Kurt Franklin had him at 16, 17, and then went on about his life for a little while, and then, but they reconnected somehow. But my biological father, never had any intentions to reconnect, and my mother had no intentions of even telling me about the cat. I found out about him by accident, strictly by accident, right? So that's the greatest pain I ever felt. And so, anyway, Gavin, what's up, my man? And so, when I saw all of this, I went into my social worker mode. And I listened to the son when he was talking. I said, you know what, there's something else going on. It's bits and pieces. Then I heard something that Steve Harvey said. Fuck Steve Harvey. But, all of them are friends. And so people been speaking up for Kurt, and people been taking Kurt's side. Like, yeah, he should have cussed him out. He's a 33-year-old man, 32-year-old man. Let me say this very quickly. I'm coming from a mental health perspective. Master's level social worker, licensed master social worker in the state of Tennessee, and a licensed chemical dependency counselor here in the state of Texas. And worked for over 20 years with substance abusers, as well as those who deal with mental health issues, bipolar disorder, major depression, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, PTSD, etc. Issues don't have an age. You don't age out of issues. You don't age out of hurt. You don't age out of disappointment. You don't age out of pain. You don't age out of an education or trauma that you received as a kid or a teenager or a young adult. You don't age out of it. So black people got it bad. You grown. You still mad at your dad, and you 50 years old. You 40 years old. We got it bad saying that. But thank God it's a thing called education. Thank God is a thing called training and working in the field of mental health that show you just how many, what I call coping mechanisms and things that we use to keep from dealing from actual issues. And there's definitely something going on. Kurt was hurt. Kurt was hurt. And the son is still hurt. Because when I listen to him, I say he still sounds 18. Even though he's 32 years old, he still responds with the emotional development of a hurt 18-year-old. So wherever the trauma started, that's where his development stopped. Wherever the disappointment started. And understand, y'all, those of you who are parents, who became parents real young, and then you kind of moved on from that kid, or, because you're a kid too, and you got to be 25 to 30 years old, and you got a woman that, you matured, and you actually did it right. You got married and had children. You kind of moved on and left your past in the past. That's what my father did. When he got grown and stuff and got married, he had his family, and I was not even a thought. So he actively worked and never even remembered me. So I'm not saying that's what Kurt Franklin did, but I understand how guys do that. And that's why I always speak against young people having children, teenage parents. Because you're a teenager, you're not mature enough to have a child. And so Kurt, when he got grown, and he met, I guess, Tammy, and they created a family, and he built his career, and his children in that marriage got a chance to benefit that. And I'm saying all that to say this: the child or the children who are left behind, well, they feel left behind. even if they are brought into it. What it sounds like, Kurt was trying to bring the boy in, according to the sister, because they was in pictures, he was in stuff, but somewhere there's a gap that occurred. A gap in the relationship occurred, because I think, allegedly, according to what the information they put out, maybe a good 10 or 12 years went by before that kind of interaction. Even if, let's say your dad has another family and he tries to bring you over on the weekend or take you on some trips, you still don't feel like that's your whole daddy or that's your whole family. You still kind of feel left out, because one thing he said in a response to his sister, who was putting him on blast, like, man, you lying. Tell the whole truth. You was a part of all this stuff. Christmas, you was part of. You taking more pictures. He even, if it wasn't for my daddy or our daddy, you wouldn't have made it to college. You made it to college, you still flunked out. So there was some efforts being made by Kurt, according to information that was put out, for him to try to connect or include the son. But we have to understand why it's so important that children are created in a family, in a marriage. And I don't go to church. I'm not part of anybody's religion. I just go by the natural order of things. If people who truly believe in God understand that God is nature and there's a natural order of things. In human beings, there's supposed to be a masculine and a feminine, man and woman. Man and woman creates a family. And then there's a family structure that's led by the man, and there's a covenant set there. The woman is the educator, nurturer, caregiver. The man is the hunter, protector, provider. We've gotten away from that, so you have situations like that. Have situations like mine and many other black children, 80% born to only single mothers. There's a psychological issue that goes on when people are not born under the covenant. So it could be one of those situations. But we'll never know what really went on, how that. I'm just giving y'all a scenario like we've all been giving. That is a scenario what could have occurred, and and with that 10-year gap. So when I saw the young man, first when I heard the audio of him and Kirk that little PC show with Kirk cussing him out, he sounded real young then, like a 16-year-old. What? No, I didn't. Shut the fuck up. When he was talking to his dad, and then when Kurt was just raging at him, he said, "Oh, you gonna what you say? Choke me? You gonna break my neck? So you gonna break my neck?" It didn't sound like a 32-year-old. So when I saw the video of him, an actual whole him with the locks, and he just looks kind of emaciated in the face, and the sister said it out loud that he was a crackhead. Well, when I saw him, I said, if it's not crack, it's something. He is on something. I want to know what age did he start turning to substances, because a drug addict in the family can cause that kind of drama. Drug addicts usually turn to alcohol and other drugs, either number one, recreational, and get caught up, because no one starts using drugs for the purpose or the intent to become addicts. It has never been done, and it's never going to be done. People turn to drugs and alcohol and other drugs to change a mood and alter reality, to soothe pain or to bring a semblance of even keelness and tone and mood or happiness or semblance of happiness. To kind of, quote, they say, get away. And so whatever he did something. He started something to either suppress some pain, subdue some pain, and he got addicted. And so now he's acting out on that pain. And when you act out on pain, you do things that kind of, it comes out wrong. It comes out all kinds of ways, but and it can be damaging. And the person who is guilty is trying to, trying to help, but is really enabling. Because let's say absent mothers and fathers tend to try to make up by giving the kid who is allegedly left or emotionally abandoned, they try to make up for it by giving them material things and being extra permissive to that child. No telling what it is. But he looked pretty healthy in that last picture. Looked happy, but we'll never know. And Kirk said he had a therapist on the phone, and the young man said, yeah, and he had T.D. Jakes on there too. Put T.D. Jakes on there too. He told everything. And so we just have to, think of everything in this. We can't just say, well, he did right by cussing his ass out. Maybe, because we don't know to what extent in which they've been going back and forth. But all I want to say is, please take parenting and make it very important. And let's not look past when we see young people out here, tell them, y'all don't need to be bringing no kids here, and no high school and no college. Only when you're mature enough and you're grown and you're married, if you care about children. Don't stand by and let your daughter, 'cause I can say sons, you can say son, don't get nobody pregnant, but it's the girls who ultimately make the decision. Because you can't get between legs while she opening up her legs voluntarily. And she's the one who can prevent all the pregnancies. The girl. Because she's the one who get on birth control. All kind. They got at least 12, 13 forms. And so when I look deeper into it, other than when a lot of folks just say, well, yeah, it's right, you can cuss him out. And then they say, he's a grown-ass man. Yeah, you gonna talk to his daddy like that? You ain't supposed to talk to your daddy like that. You can talk to anybody how you want to. And people who hurt, do it. And I don't know what to wish for them, except for I'd like to see the son get some help. I'm talking about maybe 90 days or 6 months in treatment, because there's a lot of evidence. There's a huge appearance of him being hooked on some kind of drug, and weed. I'm sure weed is not far away from the picture, because he doesn't look like he's kempt, doesn't look like he's taking care of himself really well. It's just like he's just lashing out. And I need everybody to stop saying because he's 33 years old. That doesn't make any sense. Y'all ever watch shows like Intervention? You ever watch shows like Y'all Done Fixed My Life? These people are 40, 50, 60 years old and still dealing with issues. So to try to say, well, they 35 years old, 33 years old, they need to be over it. That's being insensitive. It's dismissive. That's the word I was looking for. Because you don't want to deal with it. And to all my folks who are caseworkers, social workers, counselors, therapists out there, you know what I'm talking about. And we're the ones who should be looking at this thing totally different than from what the masses are looking at. Because the masses aren't looking at what they see. But we know what to look for. And there's obviously hurt and anxiety and disappointment on both ends. Both of those men need to have a sit down with a mediator, and so they can go and tell the truth. Kurt, talk about it, bro. And all you folks that's around here talking about Christians this and Christian that, well, the weirdest thing I hear Christian folks say, well, people always expect Christians to be perfect. And so, well, that's how it's presented. Like Christians are all that, because look, it takes someone who y'all think is an atheist and don't go to church or whatever. Ooh, why, you don't believe in God? I don't want to fool nobody to say they don't believe in the Lord. And that pushing perfection or thinking you all that? But then when you fall down or you be your real self, you satanic, faking, devilish son of a bitch, when you being yourself and cuss like a sailor like you've always done, blues singer, rapper, now all of a sudden, Lord, shield me from, give me your armor to shield me from that devil that made me lose my religion. You got to have it in order to lose it. Come on, somebody. So Kirk was out there doing this thing, and maybe he got saved and all that. No, that's the belief, because people sing gospel music. We're going to have to stop this too. Just because people sing gospel music doesn't mean they're into God or church. It's just what's called a genre of music, a genre. I know Maxine Waters wants y'all to refer to it as genre, but it's not a genre of music. It's just a genre of music. Because if it was music that is supposed to be of God, or music that requires you to be a Christian and a follower of God, you will have so many homosexuals singing gospel music. Oh, goddamn, Rico, you did it again. So anyway, it's just a genre. There are people who do rock music. Some of the coolest and nicest people, they play golf and just be chilling. And prime example is all these rappers who do the most satanic and hoish things, satanic things, guys, and hoish things. And the first thing Megan Thee Stallion said, I want to thank God for me being up here. Because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. I said, well, damn, God and Satan must have made a treaty. But I didn't know God pushed hoes forward. Amen. So, but that's why I'm not into that religious stuff. It's weird. And people are playing games. And so, let's look at this therapeutically. And just say, that young man is hurting. And because I must say, because I acted out, a little bit, but then I stopped myself. I said, you know what, damn all that. But I wasn't on any drugs or anything. I was just disappointed. I acted out a little bit, when he flat out just rejected me because, I don't have a son when he said that on the show and all that shit. And said that, no. Well, if you read my book, you know what I'm talking about. When I first met my absent biological father, and I knocked on his door because he never really wanted to meet. And the first thing he said to me when he came to the door after my brother said, hey, what's up, my man? What's up? He said, hey, how you doing? I said, hey, man, my name is Rico. We talked on the phone. He said, oh, hey, Rico. Then he asked me, so how did you find me? I said, Google Maps, MapQuest. He said, so I have to give you an A for effort because I've worked aggressively over the years to prevent you from ever finding me. And, and it was and I was prepared. I was kind of prepared to hear that, but that's really messed up. I didn't want anything from the cat, just to say hello and Rico. Oh, you're here? Okay, cool. But when you deliberately, say, hey, I never participated in that and I moved on, well, you changed your mind about a whole lot of things. And so talking to him on the phone before I met him, I was already prepared for that kind of response, but it's still messed up. And it is what it is. And so if you read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. Again, it's only $10. It's called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt. Conversation with the absent biological father who never wanted to be found. Cash App me. It's Cash App Rico the Opinionist. Or PayPal Rico Rivers, $10. Please send your email address so I can email it to you because it's in PDF form. So I kind of identified with this situation. Because it sounds like, Reginald Lester, what's up? It sounds like he was trying to reconnect and include the young, and I've stopped calling him a boy. He's a young man, a man at 32 years old. But people call him a boy out of disrespect because they're on Kurt's side. I'm not going to do that. I'm looking at a father. I can call him an absentee father, even though they have pictures of being there, but you didn't raise him with the mother. You went on about your life. But y'all know me. Yeah. We don't become fathers unless she decide to have it. And so as a teenager, what's a teenage girl doing having babies with a teenage boy? But what teenage boys do, they be teenagers, and he grown up and went on. We don't know the situation, so don't start me to lying. But it sounds kind of familiar to where a lot of black kids are born. Teenagers fooling around. But I don't know if he never said that was his girlfriend or his wife. It was just teenagers fooling around. And this is what you get. Hold on. Damn bugs outside. And so, who I haven't heard from, I like to hear from? I'd like to hear from the mother. Where's the mother? Anyone else curious to know who the mother is, his mother? I'm waiting for her statement if she has anything to say, like, son, don't do that, or why are you doing it? I wonder what she's taught him over the years. Because a lot of times, when kids lash out like that, sometimes, it could be the mom saying, well, he got all this, he doing all this for his kids over there, but he can't be daddy to you. Y'all know it gets messy. So I like to, because Kirk is 51, and the boy's turning 33, so he's a teenager. So the mom is still like probably 49 or something as well, 49, 50. And so she's young enough to be seen, or she may just, probably send him out, or she's probably done with him as well. I'm telling you, when people get on drugs, man, I'm telling you, that's another person. That's not your son. That's not your daughter anymore. That's a drug addict. And through the drug addiction, the hurt is fueled. And I want to make sure that I haven't missed anything about that whole Kurt Franklin thing. Maybe he'll tell us, but, he don't have to tell us. Hell, they weren't supposed to tell us all that. But so we just speculating and giving perspectives and opinions. But from all that I've been able to gather from the videos on Instagram and Twitter and the long blogs that they both have written, the sister and the brother, and Kirk's apology, and the boy putting a 45-second snippet of probably a full conversation. Y'all know how it's done, you know. And that's what I've gathered. It's just a father-son stuff, different baby mamas, different, one. It sounds like he only had one baby mama, so I can appreciate that, Kurt. You didn't go around after you had her as a teenager. You got 3 other women pregnant and moved on. Then you met that cutie pie Tammy. So I'm glad that he kept it at one child, and even at one child. So I'll give him kudos for all of that. He had that one child allegedly, because we don't know about anybody else. That one child, which is him, and he had his other children in his marriage with his wife. I can appreciate that, because some guys are just so messy, so inappropriate in their reproductive behavior. They can get like 3-4 baby mamas, then they get married. Like, get out of here, dude, and have kids with that wife. I want to know the wife that's marrying dudes that got 3-4 baby mamas. See, it's, Lord Jesus. So, I guess we'll stay tuned on this whole Kirk Franklin thing, and hopefully they'll come to some resolve, not anytime soon. But one thing the boy said, he said, he wrote, I forgive my father, don't y'all be so hard on my dad. See, he one thing about lashing out, you say it in the heat of the moment, emotionally speaking, and then you look at it, and then I guess the backlash comes, you regret it. So the young man, there's some regret going on. And I think they'll be able to talk again, and they'll have to do it. But I'll say leave all the preachers out of it. Get a real therapist. He said they had a family therapist. Leave the damn preachers out of it, like T.D. Jakes and all them. Man, they're just preachers. They're mega preachers. They don't know shit about, mental health and what's hurting somebody. I don't. That's my opinion. I don't think they do. When people go to marital counseling with a preacher, don't do that. Go to an LPC or LCSW. Go to a real therapist. When you're having marital problems, don't go to no damn pastor. Go to a licensed marriage family therapist. It's just for future references. Don't stop giving all these preachers all these damn powers. They can't hardly get the damn Bible right. If they did, people would be in better shape. So if you're having marital issues, you're having mental health issues, or you're hurt or in trauma, don't go to no damn pastor. Go to a licensed professional counselor or licensed clinical social worker. Okay? Go see the experts who can help you get through this. Because a Bible scripture won't help you through trauma. What Matthew said and what they said in Kings and John. No. Let's hear what Freud talking about. Let's hear what some of these other cognitive behavioral therapists are talking about. Behaviorists, if you will. But anyway, I just wanted to just share that with y'all. And this is Rico the Opinionist. Thank y'all for hollering at me on this. And I have some other stuff I want to share with you, but not in this one, because this live has been long enough. But anyway, y'all be cool. Any questions? Let me see if there's a dot here. Any questions, just leave them on the page. I'll look at them and see if they're worthy of being answered. But I hope I touched on everything. Yeah. But anyway, good luck to them both. Y'all be cool. We'll talk later. Peace.